everybody, to the Menno Dad's Humility Improvement Support Group. Don't worry, there'll be no singing as part of this skit. Chris, we knew that you felt needy, and that the best thing we could do for you was form a committee with a complicated acronym. And of course, you can't have a committee with a complicated acronym without accompanying signage. It's also complicated and hard to read. We asked everybody to bring a sign so we could figure out what our sign would be.
I think I have one.
Oh, no, boys, I have one.
Did Ethan help you with that, Dad?
No, but he said it was fine.
Oh, that's great. Well, I have kind of a plain one. You know, it's kind of nice. It's just Phil, did you bring anything?
Yeah, but you know, these are excellent. I guess I really didn't need to bring mine that was microprocessor controlled and would kind of light up and stuff. I think maybe this one has too much of a carbon footprint. Maybe we'll just. All
right. Thanks, Phil. Chris, tell us about why you wanted to meet.
Well, guys, I've always thought I was a great dad. I mean, a really, really good dad. But lately, after Janet's transformative hermeneutic exegesis Tobit, I realized that no matter how spectacular a dad I might be, I'm not yet quite humble enough. Either that or I'm not much of a dad. So I turn to you.
All right, well, we'd like to start, let's just start with the basics. You know, one of the most important things for a dad is to be able to provide food for his children. We asked everybody to bring some food tonight, and maybe that would be a good example for what you might feed your kids.
Well, my kids really love Skittles, and their love proves that I'm a great dad. But once they eat them, they're a little bit kind of more out of control than my fine parenting deserves. I mean, neither of my children seem grateful enough that, at least so far, none of them have scurvy or rickets yet.
Nice try, Chris. Myself, I believe in a little more stewardly approach to our bodies and God's good creation. So, I brought these 2 organic baby carrots to share with everyone. What did you other humble dads bring?
Did you bring a knife? That's all right. I thought maybe a poet might forget knives. So I got a knife, and I brought these nice organic apples, a whole bag full that I got from the Urbana farmer's market. And I also used my cloth bag that says Birkenstock on it. Phil, did you bring anything?
carrots and apples, that's really great. I wish I'd thought of that, actually. I was so short on time this week, I could only come up with spanakopita. It only took me a single morning or 2 this week on the pastry, and then I was able to whip together the rest of it last night after Janet and the kids went to bed. But you know, I think we should just stick to carrots and fruit, because you know, when I was growing the spinach earlier this fall in my completely organic garden along I-57, I noticed that one time a chemical truck drove by, and I can't possibly guarantee that there was no accidental contamination by chemicals. So just to be safe, let's just throw it out.
All right, so maybe food isn't my strength, but I'm an academic, so I don't see why my kids feel like they haven't got enough support in their homework. I mean, just last week I told Ella, do better at math. Be more like me, I said. Here's how I do it.
Chris, those who can, do. Those who can't, teach. And those who can't teach, study the statistics of those who do. And those who know better have recognized the wisdom of turning on Sesame Street. I mean, really, in a postmodern, post-lapsarian age like Janet pointed us towards, we can trust furry critters with someone's hands up their backsides to teach our kids their numbers. I even sit down and watch with them sometimes.
That's great, Dave.
Thanks.
You know, I'm really glad for your kids' grade sake that you have TV. Whenever my kids have trouble with math, we march over to the computer and we see what Google and Wikipedia have to say about it. So, like if they have a problem with geometry, we go and we find out what they have to say about it. So then they learn, I teach them that geometry is Greek for earth measuring and developed by Euclid in the 3rd century BC. And I think that has really helped them out with their cosines and sines and stuff.
Oh, so your guys are helping to teach your kids do math? I was thinking that since my kids already have those skills that, you know, how can we apply them to a gift that would be nice for their overburdened classroom teachers? For instance, as a joint project with the kids, we created individualized cast handbells for the kids' teachers. Yeah, I actually have one with me.
That looks handcrafted.
Well, actually, it really wasn't that hard. Once I figured out how to create a molded refractory lining for a recycled helium tank, and got the right proportions of organo clay so that the molds had the required microporosity and high temperature adhesive strength to withstand 1200-degree molten metal. Actually, the rest was a piece of cake. You know, I can't believe that I was actually kind of coming from this at the wrong end and focusing on the teachers. I'm really glad to have this group. Maybe next time I won't have to work so hard.
Don't mention it, Phil. By the way, have you ever heard about a Target gift card? I said, have you heard about a Target gift card?
No, don't you mean 10,000 villages?
Oh.
Oh, you're kidding. You mean all this time I could have just gotten a gift certificate?
Phil, we're glad you're here so that we can help you out. Chris, I think the real challenge for you will be to keep your kids fully engaged with the world around them. I mean, it's not just entertainment, it's spiritual development. I've taken to teaching my children to improvise blues harmonies and rap over my beat poetry that I recite when we pray at meals. We love you, God, and we want to please you. Thank you for this real good pizza. Break it down. They really seem to value it. You can tell by the way they close their eyes and bob their heads in the spirit of the prayer. They furrow their brows when they concentrate. Ethan was so enraptured last week that he fell out of his chair.
You didn't grow up Menno-Night or Amish, did you, Dan? Maybe you're trying to overcompensate a little bit. But you know, I do have an old bicycle tire and a stick in my garage. Maybe your kids would really like that.
So what do you do?
Oh, well, I have this whole individualized technology that meets the particular needs of my kids. You know, Chloe likes to do her singing, so we have a digital accompaniment and guidance that scores how well she hits each note. Jasmine likes to dance, so we set up a specialized mat assistant that directs not only her choreography, but her rhythmic development. And Anthony works regularly on the most current tutorials and coaching in simulated baseball, tennis, bowling, and golf.
Is that what they call Wii?
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I was actually thinking of taking my kids to Tijuana or something. But now that I hear about all these sound like such great ideas.
Yeah, I know, Chris. But my kids had their heart set on Guitar Hero. And all I could come up with was this handmade wooden guitar controller. And really, you know, based on a rebuilt USB keyboard core and coupled with some tweaks to the open source software codes, you know, called Frets on Fire. It was really a poor substitute for the real plastic thing. I know my kids were pretty disappointed.
Isn't there software also that has to go with that, or are you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty simple download, and then I just had to modify the C++ a little bit.
It's fine.
Well, thanks, Phil. Well, Chris, we hope we've been able to help you, learn how to be a little more humble. I'm sorry we couldn't all give you good ideas. Usually Phil puts more effort into it. He kind of phoned it in. Maybe next month we can concentrate on Phil. So, all right, thanks, guys.